Here's how you can improve your guitar for free. If you're watching this video, chances are you're not already subscribed to the channel, so make sure you hit the subscribe button now to stay up to date with our latest content. And while you're there, give us a thumbs up too. Hi, Sam from Guitar Village here. Here at the shop, we love setting guitars up and make sure all our shop floor guitars are set up, ready, so when you buy one from us, you know it's going to be playing and sounding its best. However, if you've bought a guitar elsewhere, maybe second hand, it'll arrive and it might not be playing exactly the way you want it to. So we've put together 3 pro tips on how to get the best out of your guitar. Best thing still, it's not going to cost you anything. We're going to look at how to adjust your truss rod, how to set your action height, and how to adjust your intonation too. So the first thing we're going to look at is how to adjust your truss rod. It's important to adjust the truss rod because that adjusts the amount of relief or curvature in the neck. So if you have too much relief, it means the neck is going to be curving up this way, just a little too much, and that means the guitar's not really going to feel great. It might feel a little bit saggy too. However, on the flip side of that, if the neck's straight or possibly back bowed, which means the neck kind of curves backwards like that, it's likely you're going to get some kind of dead or buzzy notes on the first few frets. So you just bought your new guitar and you should have been supplied with one of these, a truss rod adjustment tool. Now this is an Allen key adjustment type and this works at the top of the headstock there on this guitar. However, if you have a vintage Fender, it's likely to be at the other end, so you may need to take the neck off to do that. So here at the shop, when we check the neck relief, we use one of these StewMac neck relief gauges. So I'm going to show you how we measure it with this. So we just pop that on the guitar and I can see the tool is telling me that we have too much relief in the neck. Now, I don't recommend you buy one of these because they're very expensive and it's just not practical to have one to do one guitar, a year or every 6 months, whatever you're going to need to. What I would do instead, and what I do a lot at home, is use a piece of paper and a capo. What we do here is we pop this onto the first fret and we press down on the 13th fret. That's a good workable area for the truss rod adjustment. And I'm just going to slide this piece of paper just above the 5th fret under the string, and I can see this thing is just moving about all over the place and there's a gap there. That means that we have too much neck relief here, as we saw with our other tool. If it was the other way, if we couldn't get the piece of paper in there, it means we don't have enough neck relief and the neck's too straight or back bowed. If you have too much neck relief, it means that the nut is slightly higher up this end. The other side of that is that if you have a back bowed neck, which means that the neck is going to be lower down around the first few frets. Now, because we need to reduce some of the neck relief, we're going to use our tool. We're going to pop it just in the top here. Make sure it's nice and snug. You'll feel it just kind of locate in there. Now, when you adjust it, the best way to think about it is if you're looking down the neck or up the neck, if it's a vintage Fender and the adjustment's at the other end, to reduce some of the neck relief, we're going to turn that clockwise. However, if the piece of paper didn't fit in, we would go the other way. So pretty much the opposite of what we're going to do. Now, when you make the adjustment, just make sure you're not putting too much pressure on there. If you have to really crank that thing, it could be a problem with your truss rod. Hopefully not though. So what I've done is I've turned that about a 1/4 turn clockwise. So think about it like your screwdriver adjustment, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Now, we've made the adjustment and I'm going to check it again first with my tool just to see how we got on. And I can see using the tool straight away, we've got a really good amount of neck relief now. But as you're going to be doing it with this method, what I would be looking for is, again, put your capo on the 1st fret, press down on the 13th, and just slide that back in there. And I can feel the piece of paper is just getting slightly snug on there. Maybe there's just a tiny gap that you can see there, just under the string. And that means we've got the perfect amount of neck relief on there. Next up, we're going to take a look at how to adjust your action on your guitar. So you might be asking, what is the action? The action is the distance between the string and the frets. If there's too high an action, so the strings are too far away from the frets, what that means is the guitar is going to be tough to play and it's not going to be very pleasant playing it. However, on the flip side of that, if the strings are too low, the action's too low, it means you're likely to get lots of buzz and lots of dead notes too. So here at the shop, to adjust our actions and check them, we use this Stumac Action Height Gauge. This thing is really useful. Again, you know, if you're doing lots of guitars, these are really handy to have. And if you want to buy one, I mean, you can get, you know, similar branded ones on eBay for like £10. However, if you don't want to spend any money out, you can always use an old guitar string. This is the low E string. You don't want to use the high E string from a set 10 to 46. And this will be perfect for checking the action as well. So initially, I'm going to check it using our normal method. So this slides in and it just sits on top of the 12th fret, and you measure from the bottom of the string. So we're going to go do the low E string and the high E string. And what I can see there is the action is too high. But we're also going to check this using our old guitar string. So what we do is we fit this in, again, just around the 12th fret. And what I'm looking for is to see, once that's planted on that fret, how much of a gap there is between the string and the string, effectively. And you can see here there's a big bounce there, so that is too high. You just want there to be a little gap there. And we're going to do exactly the same on the treble side. And still a big bounce on that side too. Now, if your action was too low, you might not be able to fit this string in without pushing the other strings up. And that means you'd need to do kind of the opposite of what we're going to do here. To make the adjustment, we are going to use this Allen key adjustment tool. It's really nice and easy on a lot of modern Gibsons because you can just put that in there, and to lower the action we want to go clockwise. So we're just going to make a few turns. You don't want to go crazy with this to start with, otherwise you're going to go, you know, way over what you need to. So we've adjusted the guitar and we're going to measure it once again using this and the string as well. And that straight away is looking really good. But what we're looking for here, and what you should look for at home if you're using this string method, when the string's in there, it should just, you know, there still should be a gap on the bass side, but it should be very reduced. So there's only a small bounce if you were to press the string down. And on the treble side, it's looking really good as well. So we can just fit the string in there. And once again, there's the tiniest of bounces, which means we've adjusted our action to a really good height. So the last tip we've got for you is how to set your intonation. Now you may be asking, what is intonation? Well, this is how in tune the guitar is all the way up the fretboard. The good thing is it's really easy to adjust, and all you need is a tuner and a screwdriver. To check it, what we do, we first tune the string so it's bang on the needle. And then we play the 12th fret. And you want to make sure you don't press down too hard on this or bend the string at all. And from checking that, I can see that the intonation is slightly sharp at the 12th fret. And what that means is the distance between the saddle and the 12th fret is too short. So we need to make that saddle further back, making the string length longer. If, however, we had checked this and we'd played the 12th fret and it was too flat, it means we'd have to do the opposite and make the string length shorter. Now, to adjust it, we take our screwdriver. Make sure you slacken the string off that you're going to adjust, and the Intonation Adjustment screws are usually going to be on the back if you're working on a Fender guitar. It may be different though depending on what type of bridge you have. What we do then is we turn the screwdriver clockwise, and that will make the distance between the saddle and the 12th fret even. So we just adjust that up. You don't usually have to go really far with the saddles, but in this case we're just going to go a little bit further just because it was a tad sharp. Now we've adjusted it, we tune the string, and it's time to check. So that's in tune, and that's in tune as well. So we've now adjusted the intonation on the lower E string. You do exactly the same for the other strings, and you want there to be a slight stagger as well. So generally the high E string is going to have the shortest string length, and then you go down towards the G, you go back a bit to the D string, and then back down to the low E. So it kind of makes a long staggered pattern. So hopefully after following these tips, your guitar is going to be playing and sounding its best. But if you still don't feel confident adjusting your own guitar, bring it down to the shop and we'll do it here. I may even do it personally for you. We really enjoyed making this video and we hope you enjoyed watching it. We'll be bringing out new videos every Friday at 4 PM, so make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest content. And while you're there, give us a thumbs up too.